Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Middle-Aged Mutants Show Live. We are broadcasting to you telepathically from the wastelands of Fallout. As with all telepathy, emotional transference is unavoidable, so if any time during this broadcast you feel like you kind of tread this ground before, that there's tons of bugs and a lack of an FOV slider, that's just Fallout. And much like war, Fallout never changes. My name is Ty. I'll be your host for this evening. As always, I'm joined by the Brotherhood of mostly benevolent mutants, Bodz and OH. Gentlemen, starting with Bodz. Say hello.
Hello.
And something else, possibly.
I said it. That's all you asked for is hello.
All Bodz. I should start with. I always should start with NoH. NoH will always elaborate. NoH, how are you doing?
I just want to apologize for that. Apparently, Bodz saying hello at gunpoint. That normally doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
blink twice, Bodz. Blink twice, Bodz, if you're not safe.
I'm frantically. Can y'all even see my blinking?
It's audio only. That's about blinking.
They found our weakness.
I'm gonna put my mic right up to my eyelids so you hear the moisture of my lids smacking together.
That's actually my ASMR. Is the moisture of blinking.
Torture victims. Oh, that sounds so good.
Slap those lids.
Slap those lids.
You know you like it. Slap those lids.
Anyways, well, gentlemen, sorry that we didn't do anything last week. I told these guys before, I have an 8-week-old puppy, and he's running my life right now, and I got another one coming. So this is going to be even worse. So
that would have been the perfect time to do the audience.
Oh, if I could have the freaking soundboard up, then I would have done it. But right now, I'm just too. My life's too hectic right now to.
I think we need more things like that. Like it's like Saved by the Bell, and we're constantly going, ooh,
no, time out. Well, anyways, let's get into the first topic, gentlemen. Let me go over to the little banner thing. Okay, so first of all, just want to say, rest in peace to Ed Piskor. We didn't get to talk about it last week. It actually happened last week, but I don't know the entirety of. I do know that there was some allegations about talking to a female who was, some say underage, some say not. It depends on what state you're in. I believe that in the end they said that this young lady was 17 years old. So I'm not making any judgments here. I don't know if he was guilty, and I don't know if he's innocent of this stuff, and we'll never know because he tragically took his life. But I think that this is just one of those things where, again, let's give the man his day in court before we ruin his life.
Yeah.
I think the internet should just settle the fuck down. And if he's guilty of something, let the lady that brought the allegations forward, let her press charges or have somebody else press charges and actually give him his day in court before you ruin his life and he ends up killing himself. So
apparently due diligence is a thing of the past, and perception is reality, unfortunately. And like you, I don't know a whole lot about this story. It's kind of one of these things you see pop up in your feed, and you're like, what's going on here? And you read more into it, and it's like, holy crap.
Well, I only discovered cartoonist kayfabe last year, and I've been watching it, and I like the show. They had a couple of spots on there that I was like, damn it, they did it before I could do it.
Yeah.
There's this and it's mostly because him and Jim could actually do that stuff in person. They had this one really cool segment that I've been wanting to do for ages, but they did it a little bit differently, where they would just show a panel of a comic and they go, guess who the artist is? And they would purposely not put a human figure in the frame. And I'm the magician of that, of seeing a person on the page and going, boom, that's so and so. I can do that with just about anybody if I've seen you before. But they were even better because they could tell just by oh yeah, the inking tells me it's Cowan or
oh wow,
that's Romita. It was really cool, and I enjoyed watching that kind of stuff with them. And they would go into interviews with I think they talked with recently with Todd McFarlane. They would talk about comic history. I know that Piskor himself, he's an artist, and I think he's a writer too. He did the I think it was called the hip hop history of hip hop or something like that. And he also did hip hop family tree, and then he did X-Men Grand Design. And I was always curious about X-Men Grand Design. he had this kind of like Crumb. You remember? Is it Robert Crumb? Yeah, Robert, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Harry Crumb, I'm pretty sure.
Harry. That sounds more like.
He had that. He had that kind of style. So, and it's kind of to a degree to me, Frank Cotelli kind of has that. So I was kind of always interested in seeing that. But
he wasn't the one that did. Was it the
Ecstatics?
Ecstatics, yeah. Was that him?
Ecstatics? No, I think that guy's name is oh my god, Any Other Day. He's the guy that also did X-Force. It's like Al. What the heck is that guy's name? I know exactly who you're talking about. It's the same guy. Yeah, because remember in the 90s he did that Allred. That's his name. Allred did Ecstatic, and I believe he did that short stint on X-Force. And then before that, remember that comic book Madman or Mad?
Yeah.
That's Allred as well. So
okay.
that's the artist you're thinking of. This guy, far different of a style. Would get, like I said, it's more akin to like Crumb. Pretty cool stuff. I know part of the story was that like the reason why he was even talking to this young lady is because she had kind of a similar style to his, and she was into the same kind of stuff. So he started talking to her, and it was like during the height of COVID, and he was just like trying to talk to anybody basically. And at least this is his story. And so he just kind of said a few things that he says that could taken out of context could sound really bad, and he says that was stupid on my part. But he said he had nothing but great intentions. Sadly, we'll never know. I did read the suicide note, and it is pretty crazy. He names names like of people that specifically he's like, "You killed me," and so it is a rough read. So, like I said, I'm not. If he was guilty of anything, then he should have been allowed his day in court, and then he should be punished for those things. But like I said, the internet needs to just chill the fuck out and let people get their due process before you drive a person to suicide.
Yeah, and you know what's also bad about this is like I said before, perception is reality. So it's like, let's say he's cleared. Someone finds out, like, oh, you know what? He actually didn't do anything wrong. Well, too late. And even if he didn't, unalive himself, if he would go on with that stained reputation, and people would still think, I mean, because we've seen this kind of thing before, where it's like, oh, sorry, our bad, and they're like, yeah, well, my life is still ruined. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm struggling to come back because the reputation was damaged so much.
Yeah. Well, I know that Jim Rugg, I believe, was his partner on Cartoonist Kayfabe. I believe that he and somebody else they said, well, we have to cut ties with him, and I'm like, God, he's your fucking homie, bro. Why don't you find out first if it's any of this shit's true? I mean, that's just crazy to me, and that just makes you feel more alone and more alone. And then he's a comic book artist. I'm sure he wasn't making gobs of money. And put on top that he made it basically. He had a gallery showing, and just as soon as he had any kind of success there, somebody had to pop up to say something about it. And isn't that always the way? Once they have to kick you while you're up. But like I said, we'll never know. And the thing is like some guys can come back from this. Remember that guy that was on The Talking Dead or whatever?
Chris
Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick. I think he just had he was in a better situation than Ed. Ed was kind of a solitary guy from what I know.
Yeah. Everybody came out for him and was like, no.
This is BS.
And then you have Justin Roiland, but he's still canceled. And that's the thing. You'll lose your job so fast that in the meantime, when you got to clear your name, let's say you got to sue this person and say, hey, this is like slander. You still got to pay your bills and everything. And I'm telling you, comic book artists still make what they used to make. Not in the 90s. Nowadays, they're just like, they're rich kids that their parents pay the rent and they get to do this for fun. It's not a life that everybody can like build the life on. It's not a job that you can hang your hat on. I'm going to retire.
You got to do the comic book artist thing. Then you got to start a toy company. We all know this.
Go even look at Jack Kirby, the greats. Jack Kirby, he died poor, bro. He worked to the day he died.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bill Finger, he died penniless. So
yeah. So again, rest in peace. Like I said, how about y'all let the guy have his day in court? Whether he's guilty or not, I'm not the one to say that, but give him their day in court before you start canceling him. And
the thing that is probably most vile and just disgusting is how there's just people online who are just basically, if they're on the other side, they're like, oh, another one down, who cares?
Yeah, it's like we claimed a scalp. Yeah,
and it's like these people, I mean, it's this whole Whisper Network thing with comics that's just so bizarre. But you see more and more stories come out where it's like, these people are really, they're really out to just assassinate people pretty much, like they want, speaking of totalities, they want the totality of control over everything. And it's all just to service their own careers and ego. And they couldn't care less if somebody, I don't know how he did it, but they don't care if he decides to remove himself off the playing field, so to speak.
No.
So, and it's just really disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting. But also,
that's half our fans. So, and hi everybody, thanks for tuning in.
I also got to say this is not the same way. And we had another man pass away, Lugasa Jr. He also passed away. God bless his soul. I will never forget Chappie, and I love Enemy Mines, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. I've always wanted to be able to do the Drac voice. I cannot do it. And I always thought that was, it's so cool. And he had to do that the entire movie. Yeah. And you know what? I respect anybody who's willing to cover their face do an entire movie, because a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
No, like Carl Urban, respect the hell out of that guy.
I respect like Judge Dredd. Shit out of Carl.
He's like, you know what? I'll wear a Judge Dredd mask the entire movie.
Yeah, exactly. People know what I look like. Come on.
Yeah.
Half the MCU, I can't. I don't respect for that. Like even Downey Jr., I can't. I'm like, bro, really? He talked recently about how he hated the mask because, like, I guess in the first couple of movies they were using more practical effects at the time to save some money. And he talked specifically about when they put the Iron Man mask on, he could barely see anything or move or breathe. But then he said that then they would turn these LED lights on, and he would be blinded by him. And I'm like, boo fucking who? You took your 40 million home. I don't give a shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's
would
like
you rather be the incarcerated drug addict guy?
Would you rather be digging a ditch? That just and then he said by the end, he's like, I told him I don't want to put that on anymore. So they drew 2 dots on my forehead and they put that shit in a post. And I'm like, and that's why, and kids, that's why every MCU movie has to make $1 billion to actually turn a profit. Robert Downey Jr.'s fucking mask. Anyways, and speaking of masks, that brings us to the next subject. We are treated to and I'm gonna share it right now. The new mask for Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine.
I love it. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah,
I think I've seen this.
Looks good.
This came out day before yesterday. I dig it. It looks good.
That's how it should be.
Yeah,
that's
how it should be.
Simple.
I still don't like that he has sleeves, and I still say it was
CGI in the flesh.
Say CGI. I still say it's kind of stupid where he's like, well, I don't know if it was him or if it was like his PR person that was like, well, you got to remember he had cancer. Yeah, he had cancer on his fucking nose, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Cover his face, not his arms.
Yeah. Put that mask on. Get those. Show those guns, because I mean, Jackman gets jacked up for these movies.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's really the only thing, Ty, that I just wish. I'm hoping at some point in the movie it's going to be like one of those things where it gets damaged. Like, time to rip these sleeves off, and that'd be cool. But I'm super ecstatic to see the mask, because I honestly thought they were just not going to do it.
Yeah,
and this is if he's just one of many Wolverines potentially. We don't.
Yeah, I heard there's going to be a lot of variants because we're talking the TVA here, and now I'm in the know about the TVA because I finally finished the first season of Loki, and I'm on to the second season.
I just started season 2 as well.
Yeah, and so I gotta say, so far I dig this first season a bit more than the second season. But yeah, so I know how it's gonna go, and I'm excited that we're gonna see several variants of either character.
Yeah, and rumor is Henry Cavill's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, but I also heard rumor is that Daniel Radcliffe's gonna be Patch.
I heard that too.
And I was like, I don't
also
like that.
Heard a rumor that Karl Urban's going to be one, so he'll probably cover his mask. Get that mask, cover his face.
It would never take.
Yeah, that's really a picture of him right there. Actually,
yep. That's a good idea. If Jackman doesn't want to do it anymore, just have Karl Urban do it. That's badass.
Yeah,
he's too busy being Johnny Cage.
Yeah, that's a weird casting there.
Did he get cast as Johnny Cage?
Johnny Cage for the Mortal Kombat 2. It's funny. Weird. It's funny because they really based so much of that character in the newer games on the Miz, and it's like let the Miz do it. Just let him do it.
Do it. Come on.
The Miz is like, oh my god, please, yes.
Yeah, I mean he's a decent actor, so.
And it's like Karl Urban. I think everyone's like, well, we like him, but yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like also I'm like, isn't Karl Urban maybe a little too good for this?
I was thinking too old.
Well,
yeah, I'd say too old, more like it.
He's getting up there, but I just think he's too.
If he's willing to do the Boys, he would do this. This is a step up from the Boys.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't think this would be a bad deal at all. But again, okay. As much as I don't like Ryan Reynolds, I had to say one thing for him. He does do what the people want. He gave us a really good Deadpool costume. He's given us a proper Rasputin.
Yeah,
he's giving us a proper Wolverine, and from the news that we already kind of knew this because we'd seen a little bit of a spoiler about it. We're getting a proper 90s Cyclops as well. So and I gotta hand it to him. He's done that part of this right. If it were up to me, I say, how about you let him be your creative director for the look of things, because he knows what we want. And he does it.
I will say the last movie, Domino, was just sort of like
yeah, Domino was kind of weak. She could have been lighter, and
you look like Bar from Spaceballs, honestly.
That's true. She did look like Bar from Spaceballs. Yeah, and you know what? I do have to take some of that back, because it seems like this time I guess he has enough money to do what we want. Maybe for Deadpool 2, he didn't have the money, because Shatterstar did not look to me like I wanted Shatterstar to look.
Yeah.
I forgot about Shatterstar completely.
And Shatterstar is back in this one. Third, he showed. If you're watching the birthday scene,
I saw him. Yeah,
he's
and
there.
then also, who was the other one? The guy that I can never remember the name of the guy who vomits acidic.
That's Bill Skarsgård.
Geist or something like that, or
yeah, that sounds right. Geist does sound right.
Geist or something like he would look not so great. So yeah, take it back. He did Colossus well. He kind of did Juggernaut. Okay, I would have rather him.
Vanisher looked good.
Vanisher, I don't. Oh, Vanisher. Oh God,
little Brad Pitt cameo.
Little Brad Pitt cameo. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
So yeah, maybe it's because he has money now. He can just fucking do what he wants. Because from what I saw of Cyclops and what I'm seeing of Wolverine now, I do like the costume. However, I wish that this was the brown and yellow costume and not the.
Well, yeah, that's blue. But, especially since they teased that one in the Wolverine movie.
I know.
Remember at the very end.
Yeah. That movie would have been. You know what's funny is like I told you guys I've read all through that first part of the Claremont. Sorry, it was actually the Frank Miller Claremont miniseries, and that's basically what that first movie is. There's some changes
for the second movie. The Wolverine, right?
The Wolverine, yes.
It's
pretty close to that story. I was pretty shocked when I read it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it had the poachers in it.
Yeah, it even had the poachers in it. Yeah, it went pretty close to the paper there. So I got to give it up to that movie. But then they tease this shot, and you're like, oh, and then they go, no, they drop you on the spiky ground, and you're like, oh.
And then Wolverine goes, next time, baby.
Next time, baby. Not even next time, because he did Logan.
Yeah, he did Logan.
Up.
Yeah. He's like, I'm too far in the future to dress up now.
I'm serious.
I would have loved in Logan if he just talked about, oh man, and then I was wearing this cool costume, and
if only you had seen it.
And I killed all the X-Men.
You should have been.
Oh, you had to have been there. You had to have been there. Logan, do you want to get your costume on for this mission? No, I'm good.
Nah.
No.
Like,
he was actually. I'm thinking about going all the way to Weapon X. I'm thinking about doing this naked. You're like, oh no, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic here, which I'm not at all happy about. Silver Surfer casting news. Apparently, Julia Garner, who the hell this woman is.
I know her. She's on Ozark and stuff.
And my wife says she's on Ozark and she's amazing. I don't give a flying fuck what she was on. She's a woman playing the fucking Silver Surfer. No one wants to see this. I gotta say, it's sad that the best iteration of the Silver Surfer that we're ever gonna get was in the Rise of the Silver Surfer of the Fantastic Four movie. That was actually a good iteration of him. Do that. Hire that same guy. He did an impeccable job. What the hell is this? They pull a girl. She's supposed to be
look, she was in 4 issues, so calm down, Ty. 4 issues.
She's in 4 issues. It's supposed to be the original love of Norrin Radd.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I know who this person is. However, she's not the flipping Silver Surfer. Come on.
No.
This is like it's like they willfully they willfully do what we don't want them to do in this Fantastic Four movie.
No, it's totally spiteful. It is 100%
we were like
spiteful.
We were like, no, please, none of that. What the hell's his name? The Chilean dickhead. What's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. Yeah, that fucker. They're like, hey, we're gonna put him in there whether you like it or not. And they do it. And I'm the casting of the Thing, and
I really still don't get why they aren't doing with John Krasinski. I mean, they already hinted at that. Like, why not?
He was in that movie, and he was great. I
honestly think they did that as their way to try to shut fans up, because they knew for better or for worse they didn't want him, but they knew that, hey, this is one-off thing. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and so they're like, okay, you stupid fans, you get your
who better to get to play the Marvel First Family's dad, than freaking John Krasinski, who's the actual dad. He's gonna. They're already talking about how they're gonna have like a Franklin Richards in the movie. So why not? Come on, it's fucking right there. You could have cast his wife. It would have been great.
Yeah,
this would have been like a fun family movie. I just don't understand.
Oh, and you know what? They could have got Kevin from The Office to be the Thing, and BJ Novak could have been Johnny Storm.
A really short.
And
Johnny
the Baxter
Storm.
Building could just be The Office.
He would have been the Human Torch. He would have been the Human Flame.
Yeah, Flame guy, fire guy,
or maybe Dwight, and then they could say you didn't start the fire. It's sort of
it would have all worked out good.
But no, Pedro
utterly disappointing to me.
Pedro Pascal's like a trans sister, so he has an in or something like that. But no, I firmly believe they are just.
Oh yeah, that's his body armor, right? Because if they don't hire him, he can go, well, my trans sister is going to talk with her trans friends, and we're going to cancel you, Disney.
I really like that 311 song, Transistor. I really like that one. I don't know if anyone else remembers the 311 greatest hits, but anyway, I firmly believe you can edit that out. But anyway,
I was like, should I laugh? Because
no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No, but yeah, I firmly believe they are doing this despite fans. And I read something somewhere or maybe I heard something somewhere from one of these things online where they said they purposely divide these fans by knowingly doing these racially divisive things. It's not in the name of progress. It's not in the name of equality. It is in the name of driving up social media engagement, because they know fans will be like, oh, this is crap. And somehow, I don't know how, but the only reason you would do that is social media engagement is somehow translates to shareholder activity. It means
it's got to
profit.
be. It's also got to be DEI stuff on the back end, because if you're Disney, they aren't printing money anymore. You can't tell me that they are. They're going, okay, well, if we want to make this movie, we have to go and get some money from BlackRock. And guess what BlackRock says? Well, you got to put a chick in it and then make her lame and make her gay, because that's the reality there. At some point, somebody has to invest in this, and I'm pretty sure that nobody's like clamoring to go. Yeah, let's go and make a $250 million movie that's going to cost us $500 million in the end, and we're only going to make a quarter on every dollar. They're just not signing up for it. So you either chase down that DEI money or else.
Yeah, it's
don't
all
make these movies.
Yeah, I don't really understand how, but I know it is not. There's nothing genuine about it. It's all for money. It's they make money by doing this, and that's why they do it. And it's it's so disingenuous, and you can just tell. But they don't care. Why would they?
This is Marvel's ugly Sonic moment, and they are failing it. I'm telling you, I hope that Deadpool Wolverine like just explodes. I hope we get like to $2.5 billion, and then they go, oh, the budget was only $100 million, and then just go that finally some light bulb goes off with somebody, and they say, oh my God, we've been so wrong for so long. No, it probably won't happen because they're doing this shit on purpose. There's a sinister motive at the end. We always have to remember that they're doing it because they hate us. But
speaking of Mr. Sinister,
yeah.
Oh no, I thought maybe it was going to go into something.
We could transition into something else. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic of the evening. Let's see what it is. What is it? It's Daredevil Born Again set photos reveal more shots of the Punisher.
All right.
Now I think he looks great. Bodz, I know that the hair
his hair's good on this one. I like it slick back. Better. I did think about that, but look at it, slick back.
It's better.
It's good. I like it.
I knew that you two hair aficionados, because this was y'all don't know. This is the audience. We've had these discussions in private before we started doing this in public, and one of the biggest point of contentions when the first Punisher series came out is Bod's like, "What the fuck is wrong with his hair?"
Yeah, I can't even remember what was wrong with it, but I remember I did not like it.
It's naturally curly for him.
It just wasn't styled, if I remember right. I really liked it whenever he was on Daredevil season 2, and it was just like a buzz cut. I thought, hey, the Punisher doesn't have time for moose shenanigans.
High and tight's good for Punisher, but it was like I don't even remember what season 1 was, but I remember something did bother me about it. I was like,
I remember it was all the talk when we would get on there and have like little mini fights about.
Yeah,
I care about his hair, and I was like, oh, nobody cares.
They do care. The guy making the action figure of this cares. Is like, what do I have to do? I have to sculpt a stupid haircut.
If you're not going to do the widow's peak, you should at least just be slick back.
Yeah,
just slick it back.
You gotta find somebody with that crazy ass widow's peak, because nobody has a widow's peak like the Punisher.
I don't.
Punisher could use that as like a concealed weapon. He could like jab your aorta with that damn thing. It's sharp.
Yeah, but, I think he looks good here.
And apparently, there's an anti-vigilante task force that's been signed on by Mayor Fisk. So, spoiler alert: Mayor Fisk.
So he did win the mayor vote.
Yes.
So there's one thing about this.
Surprise! He won the mayorship.
So apparently, and I of course, it hasn't come out yet. We don't know, right? But apparently, there's some story in Born Again about the Punisher taking issue with police using his skull or something.
Yeah, like that. I heard that.
I think it's this part right here. Yeah, this is also, I believe, part of the task force thing. I do not like this area that they're going into, because I didn't like it whenever they were talking about this shit in the comic books. A lot of people were saying at the time, whenever they changed to that goofy ass Jason Aaron version of the skull where he used swords and all that, they're saying, well, what the Punisher should do is go and take those police on and take his skull back. And I was like, no, he should steer completely away from that. This is kind of like this is an homage to the character. They're like, oh, we like you. not lecture us again, Marvel, on why we're bad people. I hate it. That to me was like, I was like, well, you want to piss people off, that's the way to do it. And I don't like that they're going to be doing this show. I think it's a stupid move. Again, more Marvel, just jackassery. And I say, nay, stay away from this subject. Just leave it alone.
Nay, stay away.
I'm not Kevin Feige. I'm not any of these people that can actually make a difference here. But I gotta say, I do like the Daredevil costume to a point. I do see on the headpiece there is more of this the rubber ball action going. They've actually added that speedball. What is it? The murder ball texture to his mask.
Oh, like the texture of the mask.
Yeah, you know, they all have that like they all have that new texture on every suit. It looks like is that
textured pattern thing. I just want a symbol. I just want an. I want an.
Yeah, I would like a symbol.
I want an insignia.
And I want it on his forehead instead.
Yes.
I'm mixing things up. No.
A D on each eye. He's not using those eye holes anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look more fine-tuned. They've fixed some stuff. I know that the greaves he's wearing are black, which I thought was strange. I don't know if any time that he ever wore black greaves.
Maybe it's that weird. They should just go all in on the black and red.
The 90s one?
Yes.
With the metal? Yeah.
The Scott McDaniel redesign?
Yeah.
The black armor. They recently...
All in on it.
Yeah. I think they recently done in the comic, they had a 6-issue miniseries called Black Armor. So I'm like, how can you make a series about an armor set? A miniseries about an armor set? That's just scraping the bottom of the airline.
Wars, or the Armory.
But anyways, we'll have to come back at whenever we actually see something about this show, because right now
I don't believe it. I think they just photoshopped the Punisher.
Hey, this is AI. This looks like AI generated crap to me.
Punisher's got 73 fingers.
Yeah.
But
all right, it looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic. This is a pretty cool thing. I don't know. No way you're gonna have to close your eyes on this one, so you don't throw up. But this is a new game. This is a new game that got announced like 2 weeks ago, or the middle of last week, and it's kind of a. I don't know if you've ever seen Overwatch, Bodz. It's kind of
I've seen it, never played it.
Overwatch and Team Fortress, but it's Marvel, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like that idea, because I get, as much as I like first-person shooters, I kind of get sick of shooting guns in games all the time. Sometimes I want to do other shit. So let's go ahead and take a look at Marvel's Rivals. Let's make sure this isn't terribly loud. Being against this game right here, this company, I'm like, ooh, this is kind of like having LJN on your game back in the day. NetEase is a Chinese company. I think the recent debacle that they were a part of was Diablo Immortal, that was on your smartphone. They made that game, if I'm not mistaken, and they monetized the living piss out of it. And it was a play game, but when you get in there, they just microtransaction the shit out. And the problem is with this game, it's also a free game, and I'm scared that they're going to microtransaction the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's just cosmetics.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one. Pick your hero.
Very stylized, very anime.
Yeah.
Y'all can hear it, right?
Yep.
All right.
It's nano time.
That voice actor's pretty good.
I hope Friday got that on video.
Is this gonna be on the phone? Like,
no. This is gonna so far. This is gonna be on PC so far.
Okay.
I don't know if they have any plans to bring it to consoles just yet. I'm sure they will. But right now it's on PC.
I'm everywhere. Your powers are mine.
Kind of cool. Loki can steal your powers and your identity. That's cool. Oh, that's Nolan North.
Really?
Yeah, one of the 4 voice actors, I guess, ever.
Yeah.
Hollywood
doesn't produce any other voice actors, apparently.
They will not let you in.
Yeah, Tim
I hear it's really hard. It's really hard to. Magic. Did I read that right?
You're the winner.
No Wolverine. Okay.
What the fuck is this? What is this?
Pointless.
You're like, okay.
A Galactus girl?
Galactus girl, apparently.
Why not at this point? Why not?
So I'm going to eat a planet. I just can't decide which planet to eat.
Silver Surfer, the male Silver Surfer.
I'm only going to have a green salad planet and water.
Let's pick a solar system. We'll go.
Yeah. She gets there to the her herald's there. She's like, so what's good on the menu? Let me describe it to you.
I don't want anything. I'll just have what he's having. I'll just eat a little bit off his plate.
His
planet.
If he's got French fries, I'll have a few of those.
I'll have a few little islands there. I'll just eat that.
So yeah, this is coming out in closed beta in May. So far, only Steam and Epic are getting access to it at this point, but I can't imagine that if this game is popular enough that we're not going to see a release onto the major platforms, PlayStation and Xbox.
I'm just glad Aquaman's in there.
Yeah.
It does look like Aquaman. It does not look like Namor.
No,
I saw it the
they
first time and I was like, what?
They made him look too much like the guy from the movie, and now the guy from the movie looks too much like Aquaman, who is not the way he's supposed to look, because that's the way he looks in DC.
I know, they had to change Namor because they changed Aquaman. So Aquaman,
Yeah, because he's like an Aztec now, right? I haven't seen. Was it
the Wakanda?
Yeah.
Oh no, the Wakanda Forever. Yeah.
Wakanders.
I would have loved it if they made him like a blonde guy.
Oh, it was so great.
You were like more Aquaman than Aquaman.
Yeah, it's like Namor changed because Aquaman changed. Aquaman looked like Lobo to begin with. It's like nobody knows what's going on.
And then, like,
Well,
I don't know if y'all watch. Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I even watched the last Aquaman movie, but like his brother's in it.
Yeah, the guy he looks like you should be Arthur Curry.
Yeah, Orm, like, and like they team up and have kind of like a buddy. It becomes a buddy adventure thing, and I'm like the whole time I was like, man, just that would be
Master.
Yeah, Ocean Master, and like he cleans up, and I was like, man, you look like Aquaman should look. And then like I was hoping that he would.
James Wan did that on purpose because like by the time he got into it, he didn't get to pick Aquaman. He's like, oh, I guess I'll use Jason.
He just had to do it.
He's like, I get to pick Ocean Master. I'm like, oh, sure. And he picks the most Aquaman-looking guy he could ever find.
But the funny thing is, like in the movie, Aquaman really does not want to be king. He just kind of wants to do his own thing. I was like, and he just give it back to Orm and like then say he's the Aquaman.
There you go. Also, isn't he like a big hippie in that movie too? He's like, guys, the environment, like totally the rainforest and the ice caps, dude. Isn't he like super like?
There was
hippie
something,
in that movie?
Not so much him, but there was something going on in it. There definitely was some element in there, but it wasn't like
I know
his character was like.
If he was gonna do like a third one or something like that, this is just what I heard.
Yeah,
that he's like it has to be more like environmentally conscious of a of a story, and I'm like, oh, fuck off.
I'm pretty sure that it did have something to do with it, but his character wasn't like that. But there was something going on in it, like wherever the place was. Yeah,
Dr. Global Warming or something like that.
Yeah. So you did see the movie.
So they pretty much had the Captain Planet villains. That's what it sounds like.
Boss Hog.
I'm gonna just pour this toxic sludge into the ocean indiscriminately. You can't stop me, Aquaman.
What's funny is like when that came out, I had every action figure for that.
I know.
There wasn't a lot, so it wasn't hard. But for some reason, I just decided to get every single action figure.
I remember Bodz was like such a dick at the time too. He'd be like, "Are you gonna recycle your milk box?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, I'm in the 8th grade. No, I'm not going to do this. Well,
yeah, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, you should feel bad about it.
Yes, I just care more about the environment than you.
Yes, I do.
Every time you threw down some litter, Bodz like run up behind you and grab you by the back of your hair and shove your face into it.
I was a very violent child.
Very violent child. Yes.
I was all like, you know what, Captain Planet, get more respect if you just acted a little more like me.
Well, there was the Don Cheadle. What was it on?
It was Don Cheadle. Funny or Die.
Funny or Die. Yes.
Yeah.
God, that was vicious.
Yeah.
He's like there was like half tree people, and he's like ripping branches off of them or something. They're all screaming. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, this comes out soon. I still don't know who the fuck this is. I think this spider thing is just a variant of Spider-Man. Some of these things I don't know. Like this girl too. I don't know who the hell she is. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic. And it's another video game. Yay! This is gonna be like a very trailer focused episode, just because that's what's out this week, and I'm just going with the flow. Here we go. Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Y'all heard of this?
I did, but I hadn't seen the trailer yet. So
okay, cool. I have to say,
is this the Outlaws?
I weep for what we've lost. For this, we got this instead of. I'm gonna show y'all what we could have got. This is what we got, and I just like, oh fuck this. Anyways, go ahead and play.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts.
Whatever the hell you are.
The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel.
Yeah.
Meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh. They're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Slero, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune, buy your freedom.
Now I think this is going for a Uncharted.
It's a death wish.
Yeah.
Kind of
I'm in.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the. Okay, we're skipping that part.
That's so cringy. Oh my
For
god.
about as long as I can remember,
Cringe.
it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
Oh, God. It's like painfully cringy.
Because you were one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Slero. Bess is mixed up in something bigger. The Outer Rim is a dangerous place.
Oh my god. This is a trailer that won't die.
Fighting for their piece of the galaxy.
Turn it down a little bit. It's still a bit loud.
It's to live free.
And die hard.
It is a good day for that.
Oh, please, just die in this Harley pit. That's all I ask. This is like... we'll fan service you to death, people.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so yeah, that's the new game that got announced. It is it's kind of funny because it's the female person of color has become the like early 2000s bald-headed space marine. It's just that's what is in games now. You are going to either be that or you're not going to be anything. I'm like, come on, you could just pick. No, could you just give us the option to change our character? Like, let us be whoever we want. You let us do it in every other game. Why do you have to like pin us into this? Because like, this doesn't even look like I want to play it at this point. I'm like, oh
yeah,
this is the same shit over and over and over again. give us something else. Like, why can't it? You could have made the like you're in a world full of aliens, and you pick this. She's got her robot sidekick, her little cute little alien, so that you can sell a toy to the kids, and then you get your strong female protagonist. Couldn't you just like? Could have been a Twi'lek or something like that. I don't know, something. You have
I feel
this
like
whole
it's
universe.
the same formula they've done 2 or 3 times, at least recently, and yet they'll probably say, well, in fact, we know they have said it's about time we had a female-led Star Wars. I'm like,
Yeah, and that's the problem. We've had it for how many years now? When did the Force Awakens come out? That was in
2017, maybe?
Yes, and we're in 2024. That is in video
and
game
it wasn't even new then, honestly.
No. We've had our strong female protagonist, but now it just seems like it is the default. You are going to get, put a chick in it, make her lame. Yeah. That's going to be the formula now, and it's getting old, especially in the Star Wars realm.
And like, no one will ever believe this, but it's not the fact that it's a woman. It's because it's these bland girl boss, same clone.
Yeah, if they would have put Sydney Sweeney in it, it'd be totally different.
Then she can act like
what's
whatever
funny
we want.
is the juice. What was that today, Bodz? You showed us that today. Who
it was. It's for Silver Surfers. All like let's
Silver
just meet
Surfer.
in the middle and put Sydney.
That's gonna be. That's gonna be the new Chris Pratt on this channel. We're gonna go put Sydney Sweeney in it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the answer for everything.
And we don't care anymore.
So what could we have got instead?
Okay, so this is something that was shown off a long time ago in a galaxy 11 years ago.
Was it that Star Wars? Where you're Boba Fett?
Wars, yeah, Star Wars 1313.
Yes, 1313. That looked awesome, and if you look at how he looks in there, pretty sure they based Mandalorian off how he looks. At least in the concept art, which I don't know if that's what you're going to show.
Get a deep breath.
Y'all seen this?
It'll be the last fresh air you'll get.
I don't see the video.
No, I've only seen pictures. I don't think I've seen a trailer.
You don't see a trailer?
No, I don't think so. No, well, maybe keep going.
I thought Bodz is just making the effects with his mouth. He's making noises.
They're on Encore, isn't? They're underneath it.
Yeah, they go down into like the prison part.
Yeah, it's like all these levels, and they're going to 1313.
It gets a lot dirtier where we're headed.
Mostly black screen, apparently. Jeez. Okay, we'll skip forward to and now I guess they're in 1313. That's what we gave up for this shit here. Something that actually looked interesting, cool, and
so if you look up, I think the concept art for this, like apparently you were supposed to play as Boba Fett.
Yeah. They were kind of trying to hide that. I think that the character that they were using in the beginning is he's supposed to throw you off, like you think that you're playing as somebody else, but it's actually Boba Fett because they hadn't like nailed down that what he's going to look like yet.
Yeah,
or they were just using it as a placeholder graphic for when they did drop the actual Boba Fett actor in there.
But it sounded like it was like kind of like Escape from New York, kind of Escape from. Or just like you're trying to get out of there. You're stuck.
Yeah, you're looking for something in 1313 that happened, and like it sounded really atmospheric and fun, and I was so looking forward to it. And then there was like this huge shakeup, and then it was canned. And now we got this piece of shit.
Yeah, but if you do ever look at the concept art for it, for what Boba Fett was supposed to look like, it wasn't like he was in his normal armor yet, and
he had a different.
It was all kind of makeshift, and it looked a lot like how Mandalorian looked in like season 1, episode 1 of the show. And I was like, oh, y'all took some of this concept art from this to flesh out the character, I bet.
But and then here, this is another thing that I found interesting. Okay, so this is the actual actress that this is based off of, and this is the lurchification that has been done to the four actors. What the fuck? If I had a 3D artist working for me that did this, he was like looking at this and he came up with this, and I was like, okay, first things first, we give you insurance money, right? You do go see an eye doctor, right? I don't know how you did. Yeah, I don't know how you did this. This is not.
Yeah,
one here is not like the other.
I feel bad for these like attractive models that they get to be these people. Like even in the other thing, the Spider-Man one, Mary Jane.
I liked this too. This was great. See, she looks normal here. She has a slight face ass, and then you go down here and she has a major face ass right here. Look at this. It's really bad. They're like, you know what? She'd be more masculine if we put that chin dimple a little bit deeper. And then I don't know what's going on with her face.
We gotta Chevy Chase that.
Yeah, God Almighty, this poor girl.
So I read this one. There's someone on X, formerly FKA Twitter, said something about there's this weird growing trend of how the male characters can either look like they're typically, if they're supposed to be like a supporting character or one of the leads, they'll look normal or what is considered to be attractive. I can't
tall,
legally,
very muscular. Yeah,
I can't legally say another man is attractive, but
you just did. I think we got enough, Ty.
No,
I know that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
What is traditionally considered. I didn't say I considered it, but anyway, they said like the men will look, this way, but the women, there's like seems to be like this purposeful dumpification of the women, and it's like there's desexualization, which is like okay, but they don't have to look like they've been stomped in the face.
She just look at that chin, bro. She's chatted out.
It's like they don't want to show attractive people anymore. Like, does that make people feel bad? Me and my wife watched Starship Troopers the other day. Bad acting, but beautiful people. Everybody in there's handsome and beautiful. It's like that's what people used to go to the movies for, is see attractive people.
Do I want to go out in my daily real life and just see like just regular ass people, or do I want to go see a fantasy?
Yeah, and then you go home and you play this like, well, this is real life. Yep. I don't know.
Like, what are we paying this extra money for? You got your big popcorn. Like I paid extra $70 to go see some normie. Forget about it. Some
this chick, she looks kind of like Darkseid from Legend right here.
Yes,
it's really bad.
The extended
the
chin.
extended jaw and the big lip. It just looks like Darkseid. Okay, well, anyways, meanwhile in Japan, they're getting this.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
It's like night and day.
All airborne squad members exist for one sole purpose. All we must do is complete the mission.
I think that the point of your existence is to snuff out another species. No fun in that.
All the jiggle physics. And then the Western game developers sit there and go, I wonder why our games, nobody's buying our games.
Yeah. Why did anybody buy Tomb Raider? I mean, come on.
Jeez. So anyways, here's the other part of the hilarity that is this game. Okay. All right. So this here's, as you can see, here's the Ubisoft's official game page. I'll tell you what, I would never buy this game, first of all, because every Ubisoft game that I bought, I've been like, it's been kind of disappointing to me. So that's a strike against them. And then you get down here, and the standard edition is $70.
Oh my gosh!
The gold edition is $109.99, and the ultimate edition is $129.99. And basically, for 3 bundle packs and 3 days of early access. Are you fucking crazy?
Shit. And see, this I've said it before, and I keep bringing this up, and I thank Ty for showing me this to begin with. But Helldivers, I got that game for $40.
Yes,
and it's amazing. And then I didn't feel bad about giving $20 extra for the the premium.
It's almost like tipping them at that point.
I was like, thank you for an awesome game.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. But like this, like just ridiculous.
But here's the other thing. They also cut off their own nuts, because here's what I would do. This game's gonna suck. I can already tell you, this game's gonna blow, and it's gonna suck at the same time. And you either pay $130 or you pay $17.99 to play it for a month, and you cancel your subscription, because you're gonna feel better about it in the long run, because this is highway robbery. They might as well be sticking a gun to your head to say pay $130 for basically nothing.
Yeah,
this is a digital art book. Who fucking cares about a digital art book?
I'll go look that up online.
I know somebody's gonna post scans of it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
But that's the other part. This game's gonna nosedive. This is the next. If I had to predict, this is the next Suicide Squad. This is it. It's going to nosedive. It's going to be a colossal failure. But I've been wrong in the past, but I think I'm right this time around. All right, let's move on to another trailer. This is another game. Well, are you still okay?
I'm here. Sleepy, but I'm here. I'm here.
And this one actually looks kind of interesting. This is a noir game. Kind of cyberpunk noir.
What is a Blade Runner?
Yeah.
I'm in the business of secrets.
And Julie.
But it's more of an addiction.
He looks a lot like
I like him straight. No chaser. Even though the stuff can kill you.
Is this Tom?
They say time heals all wounds.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But that's bullshit.
It actually sounds like the guy who does Wolverine's voice in the Wolverine in the X-Men show.
Oh, that was Steve Bloom?
I'll tell you what time does. Time reveals secrets.
Kind of sounded like they were going to do the
us.
What is it called? The Star Wars theme? I mean, it looks really atmospheric.
Poisonous. Secrets that rip us apart.
Neo.
You blew it up.
Damn it! Damn you all to hell!
I'm gonna drag into the light. Or they'll drag me to hell.
Nobody wants to die.
But we just do it anyway. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. Okay, it's called being an adult.
Yep. You gotta pay the piper sometime. Okay, so I like this. I think this looks cool. I don't know this company. I don't know if they've done anything prior that's any good, but it looks cool to me. And I'd love me some Cyberpunk. And by the way, if you have not played, there's a caveat to this. Cyberpunk 2077 now, if you haven't played it and you play it now, it is a vastly different game than whenever it came out.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is still not the game that we were promised. That's the kind of the sticking point with me in Cyberpunk 2077. I expected a more crunchy RPG, a lot of nerdy RPG elements, but it is more of like, it's just more pick your own adventure. It's not very deep. It's just it's a GTA clone with a little bit of RPG elements sprinkled onto it. I still say that if you want the game that feels even more RPG like, but is in that same vein, I still think Red Dead Redemption 2 was better. But I know, Bodz, I know you picked it up for like $10 on PS4. You can throw that in your PS5 and you get an immediate upgrade to the next gen version. And so far I've been playing it. It's kind of fun. And the DLC is they have kind of like an Escape from New York DLC that came out. So.
Was it the one with Idris Elba?
Yeah, the Phantom Liberty. It's got kind of a kind of like a storyline like Escape from LA. So I'm not Escape from Escape from LA and Escape from New York are almost the same movie, to be honest. But yeah,
well,
if
cool.
you want to check it out now, it's worth playing. I wouldn't say it's the greatest game. It still has the problem that The Witcher 3 has, where it's kind of like it's not an RPG, it's a pick your own adventure.
Yeah.
Than it is RPG, but say la vie, whatever what is will be. So, anyways, let's we're at an hour here. Let's move on to the next topic. Here is the new Joker trailer. And have y'all guys watched this yet?
Yep, yeah, I watched it last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy shit. Anyways, buckle up. Here's Joker, A Folie A Deux.
Let's go, boys. It's showtime. Wakey.
Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
He's not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, that immediately bothered me. But
yeah,
to balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody.
Damn right.
I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
So let's make it musical, baby. I like how, remember how when we first heard about this movie, they're like, yeah, they're making a Joker sequel, which I have to be upfront. I did not like the Joker movie, the original.
I thought it was fine.
If it would have been called something else other than the Joker,
yeah, exactly.
I think it would have been a great movie. But the second you tack that onto that, I immediately have an expectation that's not being met. And I feel like oh, you just all you're doing, you're a different movie wearing the skin of something that I like.
It was Joker flavored something.
Yeah, Joker flavored is the right.
It's kind of like when they do a Die Hard movie, they're just like, we have a script, and we could put John McClane in it if you want. That's kind of what they've done with the last few movies.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but I feel kind of bad for saying any of that because the last few movies, it had to be he had to have started that dementia thing around that time because those movies were just so bad. It's like it's the only explanation for that he had that, because y'all heard he had like that earpiece where they were like feeding him his lines and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
And he was just trying to get through those movies because he needed to make money, because he's got a family and all that. And he knew his time was taken away. But anyways, let's continue the trailer. Oh,
let's get out of here.
What
I'm guessing this is all in their head the entire.
Which, I really hope the majority of the movie isn't like a delusional fantasy. I hope some reality is actually happening.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure there's going to be reality with this gloss of psychosis painted over it. I think that's what it's going to be. But
I really hope it's like we're like, what's real, what isn't real. I want
that would be cool. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. If you're going to do like a psychological type angle here, have it be if you're following like his break with reality and like it's just coming in and out of like what's real and what's not real. That angle I could go for. Still don't like that it's a Joker movie. It should have been called something else.
Unless he says, "How do we kill the Batman?"
Yeah. We kill the Batman. I just I would with no H on the whole. Why are we keep making movies about Batman without Batman in it?
Yeah, it's just
It's weird.
for like a comic book to do that, comics aren't like easy to make, but when it's a major motion picture, I think of just the sheer human effort it takes to make one of these movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is such a big ordeal.
What they should have done is just cast a bunch of his supporting cast characters and say Batman's dead, and then we just follow along with this younger, diverse cast of characters without Batman.
Oh, God.
Actually, they should get Daniel Radcliffe to play at least one of the Jokers, maybe. Henry Cavill as the Joker. Let's do
Henry
it.
Cavill as the Joker.
I'm just gonna continue on here.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur? I'll tell you what's changed.
What?
Not alone anymore.
Whiskey.
Hotel Arc. What'd you say?
Whiskey. Am I saying that right?
You should be talking about
Whiskey. What? You've seen no, it's the famous scene.
I want to see the real you.
I wonder how many y'all probably don't know this, but I wonder how many Fall Out Boy fans are going to be showing it because they had an album with the same name, the Folie A Deux. But it's an impressive shot, but I feel like Twitter's going nuts over it. I'm like, yeah, it's great, but I'm just like, sometimes I'll see fans go nuts over something that looks good, but I'm like, they're like, oh my god, they're gushing so crazy. I'm like, for the love of all that is holy, please watch more movies.
Yeah,
you know
no.
what I mean? Just because it's good, but I feel like this is the only thing you have seen. You know what I mean? That isn't like something they came out with in the past like 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, how do y'all feel about Lady Gaga being Harley Quinn?
Fine enough, but it's not really the casting.
I don't feel like it's gonna be Harley Quinn. It's gonna be Lady Gaga. That's it. It's
okay.
Lady
Hear me
Gaga.
out. Instead of Lady Gaga, what if they got, I don't know, Sydney Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There you go.
Whatever. First in line to buy the ticket, but would it have been different if it was the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn? Like, how weird would that be?
That would have probably not.
It would have been a different
not
vibe
fit.
entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it. It was never not going to be anything but what it is. So, like, okay, fine.
I just can't believe how many of the rumors about this were true. Like, it was like hit after hit. I remember they would say, "Oh, Lady Gaga's gonna be." I was like, "That's
Like, whatever."
bullshit.
Yep.
And then they go, "Oh, it's gonna be a musical," and I was like, "No way!" And then it comes out, it's so fun. Damn, whoever that person was, that investigative reporter, worth their salt right there. They got it right.
They were right.
You're right.
Yeah. And here's the thing: I hate musicals, so.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, once they announced it was like a musical, I'm like, I was already kind of halfway on board. Now I'm only like a quarter on board because it's a musical. I'm like, that seems like somebody in a writer's room, like, ooh, what if we made it a musical? And they all just ran with it.
I think it's like a dare. He's like, you know what? Because you made the first movie on what? It was like an $80 million budget, wasn't it? And it made like $1 billion. So that's why they're like, freaking ejaculating money at this guy. And I bet you he was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how far I can take this and just go fucking nuts, because that's all I can come up with when you go, I'm gonna make this into a musical, guys. That's just
and really, I'm just like, does Harleen Quinzel have to be a psychiatrist or whatever in every interpretation? I guess not, but it's like, I guess we'll see. I don't know, something about her, assuming this is even true, but something about her being a fellow inmate makes her less special.
Yeah,
to
that
me.
was weird.
But it's probably going to turn out she is the psychiatrist and he's just having the delusion about all of this.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
kind of what I'm thinking now.
The Domino girl from the last movie, that was his thing.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, she wasn't even involved with him. She existed, but she had nothing to do with him.
Yeah, that was a weird twist there.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not interested in this movie. Not a fan of the
I wonder if are they just abandoning the whole Batman aspect of this mythos, because it kind of feels like they are. And I guess Bruce Wayne would be how old by this time? 9?
Well,
I don't know.
wasn't he a little kid in the first movie?
Kid in the first movie, yeah.
So, like, the 1989 Batman, Jack Napier or whatever, he was significantly older than Bruce Wayne. I mean, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's kind of fine for like that one version, but I've said this before, but I don't like it when Batman villains are significantly older than him, unless you're like the Penguin or someone like.
Well, if you're a cerebral character rather than kind of like a character that can match Batman in a physical, physical combat, I don't see a problem with that.
I mean, if you're Deathstroke, go for it. But
yeah,
if you're like, I don't know, because now
it just feels like he's beating up on like geriatric people at that point.
It's like it's a mentally ill elderly person that was beating the ever living shit out of him.
Who's the bad guy here?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can move right into. We'll actually change up the. I have a different order for this, but we'll change up since we're on this vein here. Let's move on to the next thing. This is going to be the Penquin MAX trailer.
Okay, I have not seen this one, so.
More blob, BWOB, Batman without Batman. There's been plenty of Batman-less comics that have been great.
Yeah,
but man,
not
think
too many shows.
Yeah,
I'm just like, too many. I'm just like the man hours, the manpower it takes to make a movie, and it's like on this.
But Batman would be the actor that they pick for Batman would be busy as fuck if he had to be in all the spin-offs and everything. It's like when you read the comics, you're like, Batman had what? Back in the day, he had like 4 titles, right? He had Batman, he had Gotham Knights, he had Detective, and he had
Legends of the Dark Knight, maybe.
Yeah. So he had 4 titles. If the actor that had, because Batman, he could be just drawn by anybody, but if that actor had to be in everything that they were putting Batman in, it would he would be either a rich man or a very tired man.
Yeah. It's like Wolverine in the 90s. He was on every team and on every cover. So
no joke.
And that's when you really challenge the notion of these people all kind of existing in the same universe and stuff like that. It's like, well, you're really pushing the envelope there.
Yeah.
One thing I think it's funny is like the Penguin movie or the show, even the character we talked about, like they really could have just got Richard Karn to play.
Yeah, Richard Kind, whatever his name is.
Richard Kind, that's what it is. Yeah, because he looks.
Yeah, all that
just like
just to look
like Richard Kind. Richard Kind, who has been in Marvel or DC things before, because he was the mayor in Gotham, I want to say.
Like Colin Farrell's like,
oh god, that guy. I was like, who is this guy? The Larry David's brother on
yes.
Like
or not brother, it's like his cousin. It's like
his cousin. Yeah.
I cannot fucking stand that guy. If he was my cousin, I'd stab him. I'd fucking stab him.
Well, I'm just saying they made him the Penguin look like him.
Yeah, but if y'all like that guy talks, and every time I wish you were like your face was stomped in. I could curb stomp you. You're just an irritating person.
But like Colin Farrell's like 6 hours in the makeup chair just to look like this guy.
Yeah,
no joke. He does.
Like you were gonna make me look cool.
You know what you could do is just have him. He could just like pantomime what Richard Kind could just pantomime what Colin Farrell was saying.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, I'm not seeing anything. If you guys are seeing something,
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like
I thought we were.
Y'all got to tell me way earlier than that.
Well, we didn't know you were putting it on.
Let me back up. That was a very long trailer.
I've been going.
Yeah, remember I see it on my end. I have to make sure you guys see it.
There's a gangster, real old school type. Rex Calabrese. He was a big deal. He helped people. You saw you on the street, call out to you. When I'm 14 or something, he has a heart attack and dies. Still holding a cigar. In my neighborhood, they throw a parade in his honor. A freaking parade.
Yes, because they're
It was
scared of his
fancy,
minions.
but it was a gesture. To show love for what he meant.
Right? I didn't know Clancy Brown was in it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine to be remembered like that?
You know who I would have cast is Penguin? Rodney Dangerfield. So I get no respect. You know, that would have been
no respect.
Well, if they're gonna go with like a dead person, just James Gandolfini, make it
I
the
know.
Sopranos again.
Oh yeah,
That's what I was thinking too. Is he going to get his monocle? Come on.
Yeah, is he going to be like in the Arkham games where like they
it was a glass bottle broken.
It's like the
into his eye.
bottom of a glass bottle. I was like, he's like, yeah, I could have gone to an optometrist. No,
But I chose not to.
This works. This works.
This is comfortable. It's really
It's jammed into my orbital, but it works. Permanent. It's like a permanent contact.
Actually, I think my son was the one who pointed that out since he's a big fan of those games.
But this is coming. When to say this fall? Just whatever.
This fall.
But we did get a new term here. What did you call it? No H. Wow. Batman without Batman.
Wow. Batman without Batman, or maybe this BYOB. Bring your own Batman. I don't know.
I don't know. So I don't know. You guys gonna watch this? I just again with these movies. These shows,
maybe I don't know.
I will. Yeah, I'll check it out because I don't know, man. I inexplicably, illogically enjoyed the Batman movie a lot.
Mm-hmm. I did. I mean, I was surprised how much I liked it.
Yeah, it was better than I expected.
Yeah,
and I really like The Sopranos. I'm just like, I just want you to be The Sopranos. Fill The Sopranos hole in my life. That's what I want this to be.
DC Max original, The Penguin, a Batman story. That's.
Or you could just do the Falcones, and just do it in the style of Sopranos. There you go. If you want it so bad,
I really just want technically it is an HBO gangster crime drama, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna be in because love The Sopranos. I liked what the little I've seen of Boardwalk Empire, and even if you go like
we got a comment, guys. Luis says, imagine if Danny DeVito played the Penguin. Okay,
you want to talk about a parade? We'd be throwing a parade for that.
Yeah. He's had to pipe the fuck up, didn't he?
I'd have him come back. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Oh God! After seeing Always Sunny, God bless Danny DeVito. He's a better actor than he gets credit for. Also, I just recently saw Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
I've never seen that movie. It's
good and young in that movie.
Yeah, he was very young in that
What's
movie.
What's funny is my kids love him, and my daughter is really proud that she has the same birthday as Danny DeVito. So,
yeah,
there you go.
But shit, I would honestly, he's right. I would watch this more if Danny DeVito was in it.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nothing against Colin Farrell. He's great. He played a terrible fucking Bullseye, but I do like him in other stuff.
Oh, yeah, Bullseye.
There was a movie I saw I just saw parts of it recently with my wife, and it had him, and he's in Ireland.
The
Banshees of something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That movie, I haven't told her I want to watch it again because I only caught parts of it, but that was pretty gnarly. He's like I don't want to hang out with you anymore. And if you come around, I'm gonna chop a finger off for every day that you come around. I was like, that's pretty like I would take the hint that I wasn't liked by that person pretty quickly. I received a finger in the mail. If Bodz started cutting his fingers off, I'd probably okay, man. We don't have to be best friends anymore. I'll take the hit.
That's crazy.
But let's move over to the Acolyte trailer. That's next on our list here. Okay, go ahead. Oh wait, share that.
Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Is this Watanabe?
Watanabe?
What comes
no.
into your mind?
Life. Balance.
These little bitches.
I see fire.
And I see rain. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Jedi.
So
Yep.
much Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, look, guys! I haven't seen this haircut anywhere before. Have you? This haircut and the Killmonger haircut that's in everything now.
Yeah, like the Rachel, but for sci-fi.
Is that guy dressed like a? Hold on, wait a second. I thought for a second this guy was dressed like a Wookiee and he just forgot his helmet.
I thought for a second that's the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's
Dennis.
Oh
Dennis.
yeah, Dennis. Oh, dude, Dennis is so funny in that.
He is funny.
He is hilarious.
I feel like if it's Star Wars, everybody should have 70s haircuts.
Yeah,
Yes.
They never move up with it.
Established as canon.
Yeah.
Lore.
Yeah, or no,
those sideburns.
they have 70 haircut. They have 70s haircut, but as like if they move a decade, then they have to do 80s haircuts.
Yeah,
and then they move a decade, they do 90s haircuts.
Yeah.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power. And who is allowed to use it.
If they're good or bad using the power.
What is that?
Really hope somebody gets cut in half. You know, the thing about Star Wars these days is, do y'all watch this and go, I just don't give a fuck anymore?
Yeah.
This
like
might be
they've beaten me down to where I don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because I
I
was so much into Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
Because I like Boba Fett. I always liked the characters, like the bounty hunters and stuff like that. But I was like, I don't really care about the Jedis.
Yeah, this might be the first Disney Plus Star Wars show I may skip out entirely.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't look that great, to be honest. It just kind of looks like this is they're hey guys, we got a bunch of extras. Let's make something totally different. It doesn't look like, I don't know.
Do you remember like Ty, like when there was so many like rumors about like a Star Wars TV show or something coming out, and like nothing ever happened, and now we're just getting bombarded with it.
Yeah.
For years, I heard there's going to be a Star Wars bounty hunter show, and
yeah, it's like they have to spin up, and then they drop stuff. I guess they drop like little breadcrumbs here and there where people go get excited, and then it either doesn't happen or it happens. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I would. To be honest, I'd rather watch Rogue Squadron or something than this. I'm totally not into this. It's just more Disney plush like shovelware, if I'm honest. So. Acolyte is coming soon, I guess. Who gives a rat's ass? Okay, and now we come to the feature presentation. We're going to talk about X-Men 97-ish, episodes 1 through 3. Bodz, you Bodz has seen it. No H has not seen it, correct?
No, I have not.
I've watched 3, and I haven't watched the one that came out today. So
okay, so you saw 3. So 4 was Mojo, right?
I saw 4. I saw 4.
Okay, so Mojo. Okay. Yeah. So Bodz, this is going to be a spoiler discussion. You can talk about whatever you want to. So we're going to drop. So what did you think, Bodz? You've seen episodes 1 through 3 and 4. You can talk about 4 if you like as well.
Okay.
Although 4, it's okay. I think for me, we already talked. I already gave my first impressions. My first impressions still stand, but we didn't talk about 3 at the time, and I think 3 was like the 4 so far. I haven't seen the 5th one that came out today. Was the best, like bar none.
3 was the one where they
They kicked it up a notch.
They went to
three. Three was whenever the Goblin Queen showed up.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and I was like calling it. I was like, oh, like that's gonna be Madeline Pryor. Oh, she's gonna have Cable baby, and like, and that baby's gonna get that techno-organic virus. It was happening like I wanted it to happen. So.
Yeah, I have to say, for the Bo DeMayo being such a bitch, he did a pretty good job on getting this across. Like when it's funny because when I saw the first 2 episodes and I talked about how I kind of wish they'd move off this shit. I understand what they're doing because I do get where the X-Men roots come from. If you talk to Chris Claremont, he'll tell you that the X-Men is about like feeling persecuted and alone and all that shit. I just watched a documentary recently about his contribution, and that's what he told I believe what's his name, the guy who did Apt Pupil, the child molester, or
Brian Singer.
Yeah, the supposed.
It's funny, like you'll believe Chris Claremont, but when No Age said it, you were like, "No,
no, forget that guy."
But anyways, he says that that it's. He told them, "Oh, it's about this, it's about that. It's mainly about being like persecuted and being, not welcome in your own world or whatever." That's what I get that. Like, I understood that the first 2 episodes, that's what it was all about. He was just establishing like if you didn't watch the old X-Men series and you stepped into this, you get immediately like they're under threat because of politics of the time, borrowed politics, I might add. But anyways, but the 3rd episode just goes like, it just takes a flipping jerks right turn onto the interstate of awesome. And I mean, we got pretty much what I was asking for, something different. And like Bodz says, the Goblin Queen shows up. It's Madeline Pryor. She's a clone of Jean Grey. She has Cyclops' baby.
Yeah.
And
I love how Cyclops is like, I'm not going to leave my son like my father left me. Remember Corsair for the Starjammers? And then he's all like, by the end of the episode, I can't deal with this. He
did. He was like, all right, well, you take the baby to the future. I gotta go.
I can't deal with this. Bye.
We pretty much like summed up the 3rd episode. I gotta say, animation on that one was solid. I really thought that one was where it shined. It didn't have any weird moments to me where like power wise where I was like questioning, does that person do that?
Yeah, can that do that?
Because what did you think, Bodz? You saw what I was talking about. Okay, so like the first episode, I don't know if it's the first or second episode. Those 2 episodes kind of blend.
Yeah, they were like back to back. Yeah.
Yeah, they felt like they were the same episode, to be honest. Now, Cyclops can now apparently parachute without a parachute, but he can fire his optic blast directly at the ground to slow his descent.
Yeah, that broke his neck. It broke his neck. No,
I have so much pressure on my cervical.
There was a thing in I want to say it was X-Men Evolution or Wolverine the X-Men, and like him and Havoc did something similar where they were falling out. And if you remember his background,
would it make it just a deeper hole? Okay, so he's firing this concussive blast down. He's just digging a deeper hole. And he's like reaching terminal velocity. At some point, he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop shooting this because he's gonna keep falling and smack the ground even harder.
Maybe he should do burst or something.
I don't know.
But if you remember, like his whole like background was like he fell out of an airplane and like the parachute didn't work and he hit his head and that's why he can't control the optic blast. Don't you remember that?
Yeah, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's his origin. That's his origin
story.
I did not know. Him and his brother Alex, the plane was going down that his father was flying, the Corsair guy, Christopher Summers, and he and his brother had to jump out with the one chute, and like something happened. He hit his head, so that's why he can't control the optic blast. He should be able to control it like Havoc does, without.
So he hits his head and he loses his ability. He loses his ability to control firing his optic blast.
Yeah, like there's brain damage or something. So
that's a little bit of old X-Men history there, Bodz. I didn't know that. I wasn't all that much into the freaking Cyclops. But that is cool. I guess okay. If there's lore to back it up, then we'll let it slide. I did like on episode 3 too how they're starting the life death. Is it like a life death?
Yeah.
Where Rogue, not Rogue, sorry.
Was Storm
Aurora loses her powers.
Yeah.
To the Executioner. He actually fires the gun that
Yeah.
removes
So
her powers.
I want to talk about the Executioner. I know I'm supposed to go like these guys are bad, but like that guy single-handedly took on like tons of mutants.
I know he was kind of a badass. Yeah, he was a badass all of a sudden.
So I'm not supposed to like the guy, but I was like, I'm impressed with your like take down a lot of these characters. So
yeah. So no, it's like in the first episode, Magneto shows up. It's apparently in the will that that Xavier wanted Magneto to take over the X-Men. Scott doesn't know why. Scott's upset about it. Magneto takes over, and then he gets arrested, right? Boz? Not arrested, but he gets asked to show
to go
up
to court to be on trial
to the United Nations to stand trial for his misdeeds in the past.
Yeah,
he shows up there, and kind of all along the way, the Executioner and his people show up, and they have Sentinel tech. And I'm sorry. In the first episode, they actually they have to hunt down a second master mold that Bolivar Trask apparently had created, and when they get there, that's where you get all. I think that's where he did like the crazy like.
Oh yeah, zipping around.
Optic blast. Well, I know that whenever they show up and they find out that there's like these guys called they're like the HOW? I can't exactly remember the acronym. They're like they're supposed to be the hateful, the mutant haters. You know, they show up and then they're
I think it's the HOA. I think it's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Bodz, you know them.
Yep, they're evil. They're evil.
Anyways, they show up to like this place where it's almost like a place where they're stockpiling Sentinel tech, and they're using it to fight the X-Men, and that's where you get to see some of the cool stuff where like Cyclops can basically move himself about using his optic blast.
Yeah,
which was cool. And then I think I don't know. Those two, like I said, those two episodes really, really like meld together for me.
Yeah,
because they feel like just one continuous story. But there's another scene where they track down, I guess, where Bolivar Trask has got the final or the second master mold. And the only part that I'll say, like, for that part of the show, I was like, it's cool. It looked really good. I really like the Sentinel fight. The Sentinels are scary. I don't like their voices. They don't, to me, sound like exactly like the Sentinels in the original series.
With the Cockney accents.
Yeah.
Oi.
Oh, mutant. No, they get there and it's like 2 seconds. They like, okay, we defeated the Master Mold.
Yeah, that could have been a longer fight scene.
Was so fast. It's like they spunked all their budget on the beginning, and they're like, we only have 5 minutes to wrap this up, guys. Kill Master Mold with one shot, and that's where we get that. That's where we get the scene that I still to this day think is stupid. Where and we still don't know what they're calling it. I think what was it? Snick Boom was the best.
Oh yeah,
was the best idea. But that's where he charges the claws and he Wolverine jumps at the Sentinel and like blows his head off, and it's Master Mold that he kills with that shot. And I guess then they move on from there to the next episode where Magneto's in front of the UN, and he actually that's where they get attacked by I don't keep wanting to call them the HOW. They get attacked by them. The Executioner shows up, and he has some Sentinel tech that he uses. It's just a gun he uses, and he's going to fire it at. If I'm not mistaken, the target was Magneto.
It was Magneto, yeah.
So he's going to fire it at Magneto, and it was to take his powers away. And instead, it hits Aurora Monroe, and she immediately loses her powers. And then,
and I was thinking they probably did that because they literally said in that episode that she's an Omega level mutant. So maybe they're like,
because
she's a little too powerful for
the Sentinels actually mention Omega level threat or something like that, which I thought was kind of cool because you read that in the comic every once in a while. They'll say, "Oh, that's an Omega level mutant," but you never hear it.
I'll take your word for it, you know.
Yeah.
So they take her powers. That causes Magneto to get really pissed off. He ends up magnetically grabbing the I guess the quorum of UN officials and takes them up into the stratosphere and basically says, I can kill you whenever I want. So you're gonna like either, you know, you're gonna get shit together and let me do what I got to do, or I'm gonna kill you. And then the next episode is.
And did you recognize who that girl was? Valerie Cooper?
No, I did not.
She was like the government liaison for X Factor, and I think she gets with Havoc.
You know what's funny? That's the second iteration, because the first iteration of X Factor was like the original cast of the X-Men. If I remember right.
Yeah.
And then later they became like a government team, right?
Yep.
And so it was like Strongman,
Havoc,
Multiple Man, Polaris, exactly.
Yeah,
and then what was the name of the chick? I can't remember her name. It's like Wolfsbane or something like that.
Wolfsbane,
sounds right.
Wolfsbane.
I think her name is Ron or something like that.
Ron, yeah.
And I think
she
later,
was.
didn't they get the Phalanx? They had like a character that was like
Phalanx was.
He's like a
or
character
was it or Warlock? Was it Warlock?
Was it Douglock maybe?
Douglock was a combination of Warlock and
Cypher, I believe.
Cypher, yeah, all New Mutant stuff. But yeah, like some of them went on to be.
But anyways, I know who you're talking about, because the second iteration, which is cool, because if they expand this, that's cool. Like
because they already have Havoc in there, so you could do that.
So I totally forgot that person. I know who you're talking about now. I remember my first X Factor comic was out of the Shattershot annual. And I remember she was in that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's kind of like they're, like you said, they're a liaison.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. And so they go into the next episode, like I said, and Madeline Pryor shows up, and they had some pretty that one episode was pretty trippy, because it kind of reminded me. Hold on one second, guys. I'm having a horrible time breathing here. Sometimes my throat gets dry. Anyways,
he gets so choked up talking about the X-Men.
He gets so choked up talking about the X-Men.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Anyways, they had the scene where like they are in in like the living room of the X-Men, which is a funny thing to say, and the floor started turning into like almost like not a Rubik's Cube, but it's kind of like Tetris, and it started like, oh, we're falling into hell. And I thought that was kind of cool, because it reminded me of an episode like one of the comics that's an old X-Men comic where they actually did show up to hell and they went onto like the river Styx and all that. I thought that was a cool, I don't know if that was homage to that particular comic, but I did think it was cool. And then they figure out, oh, this is all because Mr. Sinister is here, and he's there to actually take it's Nathan. Nathan.
So that would be Nathan. Well, Nathan Summers, then later in the future, Nathan Dayspring.
Okay, and so he's there to experiment on the child and give him the technovirus. And so we did get our first look at Mr. Sinister. We also got the really horrible shower scene with Logan and Morph, which made me feel extremely uncomfortable.
I think people are just reading too much into that.
I'm not reading too much in that. That was some like that's like just very uncomfortable. Like I need an adult scene right there.
That's just sometimes you have that inappropriate friend in the shower.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that inappropriate friend in the shower, you are the inappropriate friend. Okay, so Noach, you tell me. Your gaydar is pretty good. Okay, so let me set the scene for you. Logan and Morph they're in the danger room. They're in the danger room. And they're having a battle. Wasn't that it, Bodz? I think they were in the danger room, right?
Yeah, no,
They came out for like they came out of like a session, and Wolverine's like, "Well, I'm gonna go jump in the shower," and then Morph's like, "All right, I'll come there later." So Wolverine, I think, detours. He doesn't go to the shower, but Morph heads to the shower after thinking he's there, and the shower's on, and he sees Wolverine buck ass naked with steam everywhere. And he goes, "Hey," he says something about like, "Hey, Logan, I'm here to help you scratch those hard to reach places." And he like makes his hand into like a set of claws. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't like this at all." So, Noe, your verdict is that Is that us reading into it too much, or is that an explicitly homosexual encounter?
So I think you need to find the exact scene for him. I think you need to play that exact scene.
So the fact that I don't want to see it leans towards it being homosexual. But
now, if one of your friends came up to you in the shower, let's say, his name rhymes with Beth, and he comes in there and he says, "Hey, no."
I would be questioning so much about my life choices that happened. But so I think it's a little bit of both. I think the joke that they were going for was Morph is gonna, form claws because Wolverine has claws. And I think if it was, let's say they do that joke when they're on their way to the shower and Morph, or like they're fully dressed, they're still walking to it, right? They're like, hey, like Morph could even say like, hey, you need help in the shower, which is already queer enough.
That's what he said. He's like, do you need any help reaching those hard to reach spots or something like that?
That's the thing. I think they said, like, I think they clearly just wanted to do that joke, right? But like, I think what Morph should have said, like, have you ever thought about using those claws to reach those hard, or something like? Basically, they wanted him to form claws, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they were on their way, fully dressed, it's still a little questionable, but it'd be fine enough. But when you've placed them when they're both naked, then it's like, I think it's essentially supposed to be locker room talk. But
I never have had this kind of locker room.
Well,
talk. This was kind of like, I don't know. Have you ever seen the Freddy Krueger? Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Have you ever seen that movie?
No,
that's the vibe I got of it. The coach that shows up and says, "You better hit the showers," and he's dressed up as like he's almost in a whole gimp getup. That's the kind of vibe I got off this scene, and I was like, I need an adult. I need an adult here right now. This is really creepy. Why is this in a show that kids could possibly watch? Because there is no age restriction on the show. They can go in and watch it anytime. You don't have to have your thing set to TVMA or whatever.
So if we didn't know about the original, what we know about the original showrunner, it wouldn't be good, right? Mm. But I would be willing to think that they're just going for a joke. It's not a joke I would go for, but at least I would think I would understand it. But because we know what we know about the original showrunner, now I'm like, oh, there is so many implications around here now.
Yep.
Because by itself, it wouldn't, like I said, wouldn't like it, but I probably wouldn't think it's because the same joke could have happened in the original series, sort of, and it would have been like, well, whatever. But now everything has an agenda, so now I'm like, yeah, I can't really tell. It's just, it goes both ways, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Anyways, it's right. Morph. He goes both ways, I guess.
He can morph into anything. Think about
it. Okay, so yeah. So I give the first and second episode, I'll give them like a solid B. The third episode, I give an A. I want more of that. I know that the next episode, we'll just talk about Bodz. The next episode features Mojo, and I did think they had like I did know that in the past Mojo does feed off of like the ratings, right? Which I thought was kind of a cool, because the third episode is Jubilee's birthday, and she's like, hey, let's go to the arcade. It'd be awesome. Magneto browbeats her because he said, well, we should actually go in the danger room. That's more of what you need to do, because if you can use your powers better, you'll be able to protect yourself better. She doesn't want to do that, so she goes and pouts with Sunspot in her room about how he's just such an asshole. And then she says, I just want to go play at the arcade. Well, come to find out, in her room there is a what's called a Motendo. It kind of looked like a cross between a Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, oh, that's cool. I think she said that like Jean and Scott had said that they were going to leave surprises around the house, and she thought it was from them. Well, it was actually ends up being a trap from Mojo that actually reaches out and it puts them into this like digital world. She shows up there, and she thinks that she just like fell asleep. Well, they end up getting attacked. I think if I remember right, they start off in like, I don't remember if they started off in the city or they start off in Genosha.
But, it was the city, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because she's like, how did we get out of the mansion so fast?
Yeah, because the Sentinel pulled them out of the house.
Yeah.
Now they're in the city.
And then they start fighting a couple things. But then I think shortly after that, they end up in Genosha, and she doesn't understand why she's there. And then she gets rescued by this mysterious character wearing like kind of like a weird costume. Kind of looked, I don't know, the helmet had like spikes and stuff on it. It was kind of just like a generic looking thing. And then she finds out, oh, we're in a video game. Mojo shows up and says, hey, it's been a while. I'm giving up on, remember, because his whole thing was like TV ratings, right? Because he would make shows of all the X-Men. He's like, I'm giving up on TV. I'm going for video games because that's what all the kids are into now because I need more ratings. And she notices that he's super, super skinny. And he's like, yeah, it's been a bad year. And then as soon as she starts playing this game that was called, it was like X-Men Jubilee, the Rise of Jubilee or something like that. And it was cool because the way they did it was like the normal cartoon, but then it like morphed into this like pixel art where they were fighting, like it was like an old style beat 'em up. You know,
it looked like 64-bit.
Like 16-bit. It would definitely not make No Age throw up. So it was kind of like remember X-Men Children of the Atom, and that old beat 'em up where you could play as Wolverine or whatever,
like Street Fighter, basically.
Yeah, didn't the game cartridge even look like that?
I think so.
I don't remember.
It looked like one of the games.
I'm thinking of the cabinet game. Remember, because I think it was called Children of the Atom. It was like a 4-player game.
The 4-player game that was based off like the Pride of the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah, remember, and you could play as like Dazzler, Wolverine, Colossus, and Cyclops. And that's what it kind of looked like. And I was like, well, that's cool. So they have this kind of like that jumps into this different art style, and then Jubilee is playing and she's winning, and it's like really ginning up Mojo's crowd, and he like starts to gain weight again, and then later in the episode, she like I think he wants to like trap her in the world. Well, apparently, I guess a variant of her or something like that, or somebody who, because I know that he's I guess he's tapping other dimensions. It turns out that person who rescued her earlier in the episode was actually her future self. So it's like future Jubilee has come to say, hey, I've tried to get out of here for years. I know this backwards and forwards. I'll help you get out of here. And that's kind of what like ends the episode. She actually helps herself out. Gives her older self gives her a younger self a helping hand. And I thought that episode was pretty cool. I thought it was cooler when they moved into the life death. Is it called? I can't remember what. Is it called life death?
It's something like that.
Okay, it's been years since I see it. I know that was a Chris Claremont comic, and it was about where Forge he comes in and basically says, "Hey, he basically picks her up off the ground because she's really depressed. She doesn't have her powers anymore. She's cut her hair. She's got this whole and see, that's the thing. I think they did it a little bit prematurely in the show where she had the mohawk, because I think whenever she does show up for Life Death, that's the time where she's like changed her hair because it was, they were trying for a different look. Chris Claremont was talking about how it was time to like kind of like move away from like the goddess, like the storm goddess thing, and they move on to like more of a punk look that's more of the times or whatever. But they did it prior to that in this version. And so Ford shows up, he takes her in, he's trying to nurse her back to health, but he's like, I got the ulterior motive that he's actually the reason why she lost her powers, which I thought that was really cool. And then because he talks about how I developed the tech. I didn't completely design the weapon that took your powers, but I developed the tech that was like the basis of this. And she gets upset, and he tries to use a machine on her to give her powers back, and it doesn't exactly work at the time. And then this is where I just don't remember this part in the comic that creature shows up.
The owl thing?
the owl thing, and I'm like totally lost at this.
I thought it was going to be the Shadow Master.
That's what I thought it was going to be too, and I was kind of lost at that point, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I go back and read that era of. I think that was New Mutants. I don't even know if that was X-Men at the time.
I don't know.
But I thought that part was the cooler part of that episode. I didn't hate the Jubilee portion, but
it did feel like filler.
It felt like filler, exactly. It felt like anything with Mojo is filler. I mean, that's what the whole Shattershot annual is basically. If I remember, it's all based around Mojo, and so it's like this feels like a filler. Before the Executioner song, we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
but I don't know, Bodz. Are you still you've seen these? Are you still digging the show? What would you?
I'm
rate?
I'm still digging it because I mean, I never thought I'd get to see any more of these. So it's super awesome. So I like it. If I don't know how we're rating it, are we doing it out of like?
Yeah, you just doing 1 out of 10.
We're not doing anything special like 3 Wolverine claws or no.
Oh no, you could totally do that.
No,
you'd have to put them side by side. 6. You have to give them 6. A rating 1 to 6.
1 to 6. Then I'd probably give it a 5 because I'm really liking it. There is just a little bit of cringe every once in a while.
Give me like per episode. I
per
would say,
episode.
If I was gonna give, here's how I would do it. Like one,
I'm not gonna lie to you. The first 2 they do meld together in my head too now. So, but they were good.
I would give them like a 4 or 3 and 1 claw is just only halfway up. The 4th, what I would give a solid 5. Sorry, the 3rd I would give a solid 5, and then the 4th I'd probably go back down to like 2.5, 3.
That was my least favorite. Was the 4th one.
Yeah, so it's.
But the 3rd one, where introducing like little baby Cable, love it.
That was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
because Cable's actually been on the show back in the day.
Yes,
you know
he was.
What's also weird? Forge was in the show, but the only time I remember Forge was when he sent Wolverine and Storm back in time to like save Senator Kelly or something like that to prevent like a apocalypse kind of not apocalypse future, but a weird Sentinel Nimrod future thing. I remember them being really cool episodes because you got to see future Wolverine. But
yeah, no, I do not actually remember that, but so far so good on this show. I'm the next show that we're going to be talking about, and you better watch this show. Talk your wife into it. Okay, we're going to watch Fallout that just came out today.
Today, really?
I thought it was tomorrow.
No, it's they actually Amazon listed it. They said we're releasing it a day early. I was like, I would point out that they released it at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is 8 o'clock for most of us, or even later if you're on the East Coast. So I was like, you technically still you almost missed it today because I would have watched some of it today had it been on. But anyways. I would love if you would. I know you're going into it cold, which I like because Bodz has touched it very slightly. I've touched on this more than he has. So if you come into it with a fresh set of that would be awesome. If we could we'd have like an array of opinions.
Yeah, well, you know what? I like Walton Goggins enough.
Walton Goggins or whatever. Yeah. And they said he's like the heart of the show. People love him. So,
he does. What's funny is he does play Uncle Billy. Baby Billy. Baby Billy.
Uncle Baby Billy. See, is that on? On?
That's Righteous Gemstones. He's
okay. I don't know that.
He's the brother. He is the brother of John Goodman's wife, right? Is that what it was?
He's like the brother-in-law. So yeah, he's the.
He's
so
Uncle
good.
Baby Billy, because like they'd call him Baby Billy, but now he's like an uncle. So
he's the uncle, so he's so
they still call him Uncle Baby Billy. So he's hilarious on there. That's a funny show.
Let's go ahead. Okay,
this
so
will be my final thing. So just like before I gotta get.
No, we're done right now. So let's go ahead and just wrap it up. But that'll be our thing for next week. All episodes are released, so if you guys can knock it out.
Oh my gosh, all of them?
They released all of them, which some people were like, why would they do that? Don't gripe. We want that.
I don't want that. I don't got time for that.
I love to binge watch stuff.
I hate binge watching stuff.
That is stuff like that because then I can, I give you an entire opinion about it.
I got a job, Ty.
We all have jobs, Bob. We all have jobs. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for showing up for this episode of the Middle-Aged Show. Again, I would like to say I'm sorry for last week, but I really appreciate you guys showing up and talking with me about this. I really appreciate my wife looking after the puppy dog so that I could actually do the show this evening. And as for No H and Bodz, this is Ty, Middle-Aged Mutants, signing off. Have a nice night.